What's up, y'all? If you haven't noticed from the video title, this is the Walking Dead season premiere review. Flash flood warning, spoilers everywhere. So if you haven't watched the season premiere, you may want to get the fuck off this video and go watch it and then come back and join us. With that being said, go now. Now, this was the best season premiere ever. Oh my gosh, I said that last year. This definitely took the show to a whole nother notch. Well, the season premiere, I mean, like this season premiere just took the show to a whole nother notch, I should say. And oh man, the first 5 minutes had me like, what the fuck? Like, that's like what, nearly 20,000 walkers all all in there. It's like a pool. It's like a pool full. It's like a flood of walkers, literally. Oh my gosh! And what's holding them there is starting to be compromised, and they're working their way through, working their way towards Alexandria. And well, before they can do that, Rick, has a plan to lead them as far away from Alexandria as possible. And I love how they did that too, with Daryl, riding, like right in front of the herd, like just slow enough so the walkers could follow him. You figure, I mean, if they've been down there for quite some time, I mean, don't you think that they would have been moving a little faster after Daryl? I mean, like, wouldn't you think that? I mean, that's just me. I mean, like, I still love that sequence. It was fucking awesome. Oh, what was also really awesome is the flashbacks. Like when you're about to show a flashback from like a few days before the mission or a couple hours before the mission, where it's black and white. I mean, it felt like I was reading the comics. I mean, that was fantastic. I mean, phenomenal. And the way they introduced Heath, another comic book character, very well-known comic book character. I mean, really done. That was done very, very well. And the whole thing with Rick and Morgan is unfolding, pretty well too. And I'm okay with that. We're not focusing entirely on, Morgan's evolution from like from what made him go from, being crazy to what he is now. And I find it very interesting that how the tables turned with him and Rick, and how like back in season 3 when he went into his hometown and he ran into Morgan, how he would tell Morgan, you know me, Morgan, you know me. And Morgan says, I don't know you. And that's before he realized that it was really Rick. And it's funny how that tables turn, in the season premiere. Morgan's saying, I know you. I mean, or you're still that same guy, who told me that it wasn't over, that this isn't the end. Like, I know you. And then Rick says, you don't. That is an interesting, like that is, I just find that really interesting, like how, the tables turn on both of these characters. And, oh man. And it's funny, like, leave it to AMC to have a Comic-Con trailer where it throws you totally off guard with with all the dialogue that you hear within the trailers. And then when you watch the show and it's back on, you realize we've been thrown off. Like, okay, that's not entirely true. Okay, that's not what they're going for here. And it looks like they made it look like they were having another meeting about Rick, and Morgan steps in like, yeah, I can stop him. I mean, it looks like that's not going to be the case. That may come into play later on, but I don't think that's going to come into the play like how they promoted it, in the Comic-Con trailer. And like last year when they with Terminus, where it looks like Gareth and them may reluctantly form an alliance with Rick and his group, and then go to Washington together and whatever. Nope, not at all. That wasn't the case. And I was glad, because I kind of nitpicked at that a little bit. And oh man, what an awesome premiere. And I did one thing I did call on though is how how Carter, one of the Alexandrians, Carter, like he's like, so we're all supposed to just fall in line behind you. I called it that he would try to, um, just get on, just push Rick's wrong buttons, pushing the wrong buttons with Rick, and then we're to the point where he's pointing a gun at him and saying, "Do you have any idea who you're talking to?" And I had a feeling that it was him that he was talking to because he seemed like he would be the kind of guy that would, fuck things up, like saying, "We're supposed to fall in line behind you," and then he's yelling at Rick, "We're not ready," when they're out on the mission. It's like, "No, we're doing this now." I mean, I guess, I put two and two together pretty quickly. I don't know about you guys, but that's what it did for me. And another thing that kind of threw me off is how Rick was when he told Morgan that he doesn't take chances anymore. I didn't realize he meant, I'm gonna need you to, go, in his house, like go over here and, for the time being. He didn't just welcome him with open arms like, okay, you stay with us, not right away anyway. And I was really shocked that, for that because, I didn't think Rick would do that. But I mean, I get it. He's a very cautious, man, and a very level-headed and a very sharp. He's like the sharpest knife in the drawer right now. So I get that he's being very cautious, and man, oh man, and I like how everybody in Rick's group has a role to play. Like Tara, when she wakes up and she notices that Noah is dead, and Eugene and Sasha and Abraham. I like how they all play a role, and I like how I also like how Deanna is starting to evolve. It seems in this premiere, where she's starting to to awaken and to how the world is now, and I also find it funny how Carter would just talk down to Rick like you waving a gun at people, and you shot a man in the face. Well, that man happened to kill Deanna's husband, and she's right there. It's like you're not showing any compassion, for her grieving process, and then it's like you might as well talk down to her as well. I mean, she is, she's pissed off. I mean, you pissed her off, dude. I mean, she just lost her husband, what, a day ago at that point? And then you say all this shit? I mean, you think she needs to hear that? I mean, you may be throwing everything at Rick and not at Deanna, but you're throwing things at both him and Deanna at the same time. I mean, seriously. And he just done fucked up. Oh, how about when Ron, snuck out of Alexandria and he followed Rick and Morgan when they went to go bury Pete's body, and wow, he's lucky that they were there, because otherwise he would have gotten bit or killed, or he would have been walker bait, literally. I mean, if Rick wasn't there and hadn't stopped him and and saved him, and he told Ron exactly what he needed to hear. So I don't agree with Jesse when she said, "No, you can't talk to him like that. You can't talk to him like that." I mean, I get what she's saying, but I mean, dude, come on, not even a thank you for saving him, thank you and all like that. I mean, damn, you don't got to be a bitch about it. At least thank the man. I mean, he was there. You're lucky that the reason he's still alive is because Rick was right there with them. When he saw him and he stopped him from being either falling over, avalanching into that pile of walkers, or being bit by one, that was chasing him, or three of them. Seriously. Oh, and another thing that at the meeting, when Carter's like, "Yeah, we're all supposed to fall in line behind you. You waved the gun in people's faces. You shot that man in the face." Well, that motherfucker killed somebody, and that's what led up to his execution. And Deanna's right there too. I mean, come on. I mean, she's grieving. She just lost her husband to this man that you're talking about. I mean, you knew that pissed her off. I mean, it's like you're not showing any respect to her loss, and I mean, and not. I mean, I'm sure he probably sent his condolences like off screen or whatever. But damn, I mean, like, at least try to acknowledge Reg's death too. I mean, seriously. I mean, like, and oh, another thing I liked when Gabriel was stepping in to volunteer, to help out with the mission. He was all like this.
I also like to volunteer, please.
No. Anybody else? I loved that. Oh, I also loved how those funny moments, like when Morgan called out Michonne on eating one of his protein bars, like, "Did you eat one of my protein bars?" And she's like, "No." And also when he also acknowledges Carol, like like when she's how observant she is, and he's like, "Are you a cop?" And knows how observant you are with some of these people, and she was like, no, I mean, I just try to help people out. I mean, I forgot what she said, but I forgot what else he said. He said, "I noticed how alert you are and how you watch people," and then she said, "Aren't you sweet?" She's keeping on her Clark Kent. She's in Clark Kent mode the entire time. She's not showing off her alter ego to anybody outside of Rick's group. I mean, like, no offense to Morgan, but not even to Morgan. Like, seriously. Also, I liked how in the flashbacks they cut back and forth. Like how they cut from, okay, from this happening into the present time, and I like how it shifts back and forth. Where it doesn't feel like, if it was just if it was just the entire thing, everything was in the black and white part of the episode, and then it just stopped right at them acknowledging the herd and get ready to start the mission, and just ended like that. I mean, that would be pretty filler. So that's cool how they meshed it all and crammed it all in together. That is awesome. And that's also funny how we see how Carter fucked up, and then in the flashbacks, and then it cuts right to the present, and then we see him get the kiss of death by a walker, like, and he's like, ah! And then Rick goes over, and then he puts him down, and then he tries to calm him down, like, shh, and then you need to be quiet, and then he puts him down, puts him out of his misery, and then Morgan looks at him like, what the fuck, Rick? Like, what the fuck? He gives him that look, and Michonne looks pretty horrified by it too, and I'm like, people, hello? He was bit in the face by a walker. He would have turned otherwise if Rick hadn't put him down. It's not like he was bit in the leg and they can just chop it off and then patch it up and whatever. I mean, he was bit right here. There is no point of return from that. There is no coming back from that. And I mean, like, and the fucked up part is I don't think anyone's gonna miss the dude. I don't think anyone's gonna be yelling in their Jackie Chan voice, all like, Carter. No, not me. Mm-mm. I mean, I don't think he has any family, left that he left behind. I think it was just him. I mean, as far as I know. But oh man, and to the best ending, the most epic cliffhanger like ever, in my opinion, is when someone honks a loud ass truck horn, and then it takes all the walkers away, and it leads over to Alexandria. I mean, that's where, and then Rick said that's where it's coming from. It's coming from home, and like, oh shit, and then it pans up, and you see all those massive walkers, getting off road and going over to the woods, and while the horn is still honking, and it fades to black, and it's still honking. I'm like, oh man, that is crazy. And I mean, let's get real. It's those motherfucking wolves. It's the whatever W group, and I thought they orchestrated those herds, but in the Comic-Con trailer, but turns out they didn't. Not at first, but not until they start honking that fucking horn, and that's when it becomes the orchestration, when the herd of walkers is coming over to Alexandria, and that's how it ended on that crazy ass note. But it's funny how Carter almost fucked up that mission too by screaming, but luckily they got the walkers back on the road. But man, this gets a 10 out of 1 to 10 in my book. Definitely awesome season premiere. So post your comments down below. Let me know who you thought set off that horn, and what do you think? And do you think Alexandria? Do you think it will be time for the group to leave Alexandria and go somewhere else? I mean, do you think Alexandria will be doomed and will it belong to the dead? I mean, like, let me know what you think of that. And that's for people who haven't read the comics. So I'm gonna leave it as that. I'm gonna leave it as that. So if those of you that didn't read the comics, or even those of you who read the comics, let me know what you think. I mean, if they're gonna change things up and up here. So if you liked my review, thumb up the video, share, subscribe to my channel for more awesome videos to come. Cannot wait until the next episode. I cannot wait. And until next time, Nerdy Blation is signing out. Peace. And remember, in Rick Grimes, we trust.